Hi, my name is Shinka. Welcome to my channel. Today we're reading The Warriors Into the Wild by Erin Hunter. We're also discussing and so on. Now we're on we're in the middle of chapter 6 still. What just happened was we just finished a training session and then a time skip happened. 2 months passed. Firepaw is out on his first solo assignment. But then, during that assignment, he was attacked. Graypaw seemed unbothered by his second defeat in the morning. It was too fine a day for a bad temper. "So how are you getting along with your task?" he asked. Firepaw sat up. "I was doing just fine till you came along. I was about to catch a vole when your noisy trampling frightened it off." "Oh, sorry," mewed Graypaw. Firepaw looked at his crestfallen friend. "That's okay. You didn't know," he purred. "Anyway," he continued, "shouldn't you be heading to meet the patrol on the Wind Clan border? I thought you had to give them a message from Blue Star." "Yeah, but there's plenty of time. I was going to do a little hunting first. I'm starving." "Me too, but I've got to hunt for the clan before I can hunt for myself." "I bet Dustpaw and Sandpaw used to swallow a shrew too when they were on hunting duty," snorted Graypaw. "I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But this is my first solo assignment, and you want to do it right," finished Graypaw. "What's the message from Blue Star, anyway?" Firepaw asked, changing the subject. "She wants the patrol to wait at the Great Sycamore until she joins them at Sunhigh. Seems that some Shadow Clan cats have been prowling around, and Blue Star wants to check things out." "You'd best be going then," Firepaw reminded him. "The Wind Clan hunting grounds aren't too far from here." "There's plenty of time," Graypaw answered confidently. "And I suppose I should help out after making you lose that vole." "It doesn't matter," Firepaw mewed. "I'll find another. It's such a warm day. There should be quite a few out and about." "True, but you still got to catch them." Graypaw nibbled at a front claw, stripping off a piece of the outer sheath thoughtfully. "You know, that could take you until way past Sunhigh, maybe even until sunset." Firepaw nodded without enthusiasm as his belly gave a rumble. He would probably have to make 3 or 4 hunting trips before he caught enough prey. Silverpelt would be in the sky before he had a chance to eat. Graypaw stroked his whiskers. "Come on, I'll help you get started. I owe you that at least. We should be able to catch a couple of voles before I have to get going." Firepaw followed Graypaw upstream, glad of the company and help. The fox stench was still in the air, but suddenly it smelled stronger. Firepaw paused. "Can you smell that?" he asked. Graypaw stopped and sniffed the air too. "Fox, yeah, I smelled it earlier." "Doesn't it smell fresher to you now, though?" Firepaw asked. Graypaw sniffed again, opening his mouth slightly. "You're right," he murmured, lowering his voice. He swiveled his head to look across the stream at the bushes in the woods beyond. "Look," he whispered. Firepaw looked. He saw something red and thick-haired moving among the bushes. It stepped into the clearing in the undergrowth, and Firepaw saw a low body glinting red in the dappled sunlight. Its tail was heavily furred and had a long, narrow snout. "So that's a fox?" Firepaw whispered. "What an ugly muzzle!" "You could say that again," agreed Graypaw. "I was following one of those when we first met," whispered Firepaw. "More likely it was following you, you idiot," hissed Graypaw. "Never trust a fox. Looks like a dog, behaves like a cat." "We must warn the queens that one has strayed into our territory. Foxes are as bad as badgers when it comes to killing young kits," I'm just glad you didn't catch up with one you saw last time. He'd have made mouse meat out of a tiny scrap like you. Firepaw looked a little put out, and Graypaw added, You stand a better chance now these days. Oh, anyway, Blue Star will probably send a warrior patrol to scare it off, put the Queen's minds at rest. The fox had not noticed them, so the two apprentices continued along the stream. So what does a badger look like? Firepaw asked as they prowled along, sniffing to the other side. Black and white, short legs. You'll know one when you see meet one. They're bad-tempered, lumbering animals. They're less likely to raid the nursery than a fox, but they have a vicious bite. How do you think old Halftail earned his name? He hasn't been able to climb a tree since the badger bit off his tail. Why not? Scared of falling. A cat needs his tail if he wants to land on his feet. Helps him spin midair. Firepaw nodded in understanding. As Firepaw had predicted, hunting was good that day. Before long, Graypaw had pounced on a small mouse, and Firepaw caught a thrush. He quickly took its life. No time to practice killing techniques today. There were too many hungry mouths to feed waiting back at camp. Firepaw kicked earth over the prey so that it would be safe from predators until he came back for it. Suddenly, a squirrel broke cover. Firepaw burst into action. After it! He called, pelting at full stretch over the springy woodland floor with Graypaw at his heels. They slid to a halt as the squirrel scampered upward into a birch. Lost it! Graypaw growled in disappointment. Panting, the two cats stopped to catch their breath. The acrid stench that hit their mouths and noses surprised them. The thunder path, Firepaw mewed. I didn't realize we'd come this far. The two cats edged forward to peer out of the forest at the great dark path. It was the first time they had been here alone. A trail of noisy creatures growled along the hard surface, their dead eyes staring straight ahead. Yuck! Graypaw snorted. Those monsters really stink. Firepaw twitched his ears in agreement. The choking smell made his throat sting. Have you been across the thunder path? He mewed. Graypaw shook his head. Firepaw took a step out of the cover of the forest. A border of oily grass lay between the trees and the thunder path. He crept slowly out onto it, and then shrank back as a stinking monster hurled past. Hey, where are you going? Graypaw mewed. Firepaw didn't reply. He waited till there was no monsters in sight. Then he edged forward again, across the grass, right to the edge of the path. Cautiously, he reached out a paw to touch it. It felt warm, almost sticky, heated by the sun. He looked up, staring across the thunder path. Was that a pair of eyes glinting out of the forest on the other side? He sniffed the air, but smelled nothing except the stench of the great gray path. The eyes on the other side were still shining in the shadows. Then they blinked slowly. Firepaw was sure now. It was a Shadow Clan warrior, and it was staring straight at him. Firepaw! Graypaw's voice made Firepaw jump, just as a huge monster, taller than a tree, roared past his nose. The wind from it almost toppled him over. Firepaw turned and ran as fast as he could back into the safety of the forest. You mouse-brained fool! Spat Graypaw, his whiskers trembling with fear and anger. What were you doing? I just wondered what the thunder path felt like, Firepaw muttered. His whiskers were trembling too. Come on, hissed Graypaw edgily. Let's get out of here. Firepaw followed Graypaw as he leaped away back into the forest. Once they were a safe distance from the thunder path, Graypaw stopped to catch his breath. Firepaw sat down and began to lick his ruffled fur. I think I saw a Shadow Clan warrior, he mewed between licks, in the forest on the other side of the thunder path. A Shadow Clan warrior? Echoed Graypaw, his eyes wide. Really? I'm pretty sure. Well, it's a good thing that monster came past when it did, retorted Graypaw. Well, if there's one Shadow Clan warrior, there's more, and we're no match for them yet. We'd better get out of here. He looked up at the sun, which was almost directly overhead. I'd better get a move on if I were to meet the patrol on time, he mewed. See you later. He sprang away into the undergrowth, calling as he went. You never know. Lionheart might let me come and help you with the hunting once I deliver this message. Firepaw watched him go. He envied Greypaw, wishing he were off to join a warrior patrol. But at least he'd have something to tell Dustpaw and Sandpaw when he returned to camp. Today, he had seen his first Shadow Clan warrior. Chapter 7. Firepaw retraced his steps and headed back towards the stream. He thought of those eyes burning from the darkness of the Shadow Clan territory. Suddenly, he caught a faint smell in the breeze. A stranger! Perhaps that Shadow Clan warrior. Instantly, a growl rumbled in Firepaw's throat. The scent message told him many things. The stranger was a she-cat, not young, definitely not from ThunderClan. She carried no distinct scent from any of the clans, but Firepaw could tell she was tired, hungry, and sick. She was in an ugly mood. Dropping low, Firepaw moved forward, heading towards the scent. Then he paused in puzzlement. The warrior's scent was fainter now. He sniffed again. And suddenly, with a lightning movement, a snarling ball of fur burst from the bushes behind him. Firepaw screeched in shock as the she-cat slammed into him, knocking him sideways. Two heavy paws clamped down on his shoulders, and iron jaws closed around the back of his neck. He grunted, already thinking fast. If the other cat were to sink its fangs too deep, it would all be all over. He forced himself to go limp, relaxing his muscles as if in submission, and let out a pretend howl of alarm. The she-cat opened her mouth to give a triumphant yell. Ah, a puny apprentice, easy prey for Yellowfang, she hissed. At the insult, Firepaw felt a surge of fury. Just wait. He'd show this cough-up furball what kind of warrior he was. But not yet, he told himself. Wait until you feel her teeth again. Yellowfang bit down. Firepaw surged upward, and with all the strength in his powerful young body, the she-cat gave a snarl of surprise as she was thrown clear. She tumbled backwards into a gorse bush. Firepaw shook himself. Not such easy prey, huh? Yellowfang hissed defiance as she tore herself free from the clinging branches. Not bad, young apprentice, she spat back. But you'll need to do a lot better. Firepaw blinked when he saw his opponent clearly for the first time. The she-cat had a broad, almost flat face, round orange eyes. Her dark gray fur was long, matted, and in smelly clumps. Her ears were torn and ragged, and her muzzle was traced with the scars of many old battles. Firepaw stood his ground, puffed out his chest, and glared a challenge into the intruder's face. You're in ThunderClan's hunting ground. Move on. Who's going to make me? Yellowfang drew back her lip defiantly, exposing stained and broken teeth. I will hunt. Then I will leave. Maybe I'll just stay a while. Enough talk, Firepaw spat, feeling the stir of the ancient cat's spirit deep within him. There was no trace of the house cat in him now. His warrior blood was up. He was itching to fight and to defend his territory and protect his clan. Yellowfang seemed to sense the change in him. Her fierce orange eyes sparked with new respect. Dipping her head and breaking eye contact, she started to back off. No need to be hasty now, she purred in a silky tone. Firepaw was now fooled by her trickery. Claws extended and fur-end, he leaped forward, his war cry ringing out. Ah! End it there. I know, a cliffhanger. But I want to know what you guys think. This is Firepaws' first battle. And he's by himself. So there's a few things that I'm going to point out. Her fur was matted. She's alone. She's also older. Clearly has a warrior name. Yellowfang is a warrior, is a clan name. So she does have a clan name. But if she doesn't smell like a specific clan, do you think she's part of the clan currently? Anyway, let me know what you think.